Just because you've retired doesn't mean you've lost your love of learning. That's why Plato exists, to help turn retirement into your most enriching chapter yet. Right now, join Plato Madison and participate in new classes starting next week, February 17th. Join to learn about current events, explore the Hollywood musical, or workshop your writing or art with other intellectually curious adults. All of these classes and more are included in your Plato membership, now just $30. Become a member today at platomadison.org. That's Plato Madison.org. Today on CityCast Madison. We're dedicating this entire week to love in honor of Valentine's Day this Friday. And we're talking about love in its many forms. For day 2, we're looking inward at how we can better love ourselves and in turn our community even through challenging times. Who better to ask for guidance than someone who daily lives and breathes loving presence? We sat down with a local Buddhist monk and teacher, Khenchen Kunchog Gyaltsen Rinpoche, founder of Dri Kunkaju Dharma Circle of Madison. He shared his wisdom on how to love. Fair warning, this conversation is steeped in compassion and intent. It's Tuesday, February 11th. I'm Bianca Martin, and here's what Madison's talking about. Khenchen Rinpoche, thank you so much for joining us.
Okay, thank you so much.
So we are spending this week talking about love. What does love mean to you?
Love is a word, has so many meaning, depending to the individuals. Mostly, I think we should say that love comes from your attachment, because individual, And then there's a love general for everybody, say love. So there is mentioned the individuals who out of attachment say I love you means you have a attachment to somebody, and then to fulfill your attachment, you show your love to others so that they respect you and you get what you want. So this is one kind of love. It's mostly like emotional. And then there's a general love, say like me, you, everybody, we all desire peace and happiness. And everybody has a right to have peace and happiness. No, whether rich or poor, beautiful or not beautiful, educated or uneducated, human beings or non-human beings, everybody in the world, doesn't matter what kind of status they have, we all desire to have peace and happiness. So from that point of view, then you develop a love to all. I wish everybody to have peace and happiness. So that kind of love is the one that we all need to strive for, to achieve.
Yes. You have quite the life's journey and work. I read that you were born in Tibet, but when you were a child, your family fled to India, where you later trained extensively in Buddhism under top teachers, and eventually you came to the U.S. to start meditation centers all around the country, including right here. One of the meditation centers you started is Dri Kunkaju Dharma Circle of Madison back in 1992.
Yeah.
Yeah, still going, strong.
Still surviving.
And you know what? To me, I feel like community is one of the most important forms of love. How do you see the practice of creating community as connected to love?
So regarding to that sense, this also involves with the compassion. Where we desire to have peace and happiness, at the same time we encounter different types of obstacles. We face a lot of suffering. So to desire to free from the sufferings, and there's with that kind of mind, what we call compassion.
Compassion.
Yeah, compassion. Compassion, you develop in your mind, you wish, you desire everyone to free from this suffering. So these are very connected each other. So love here, so what we're talking about for the community, for everybody, that kind of love is your mind, just a pure mind, pure mind with a peace. And as I desire for peace and happiness, everyone desires the same thing. Develop that. And then just at that moment, the practitioner, myself or yourself, we experience the peace. It opens our heart for all. So this is the one that we need to focus on, how to practice that. Everywhere, as I mentioned, doesn't matter rich or poor, educated or uneducated. There's no status. Everyone. So just on the basis of that, you just put yourself put into that place and practice that. Doesn't matter where you are. And then from there, you just see what you can do, what you can offer to others to achieve that. Even though we individually, physically, there's a lot of limitations. But mentally, you can exercise this, practice this for your own peace and happiness. And then that becomes a start, a place that you can contribute. You can help others how to bring that kind of peace and happiness.
And I think right now the world has so much pain with political violence and friction and so much heartache. It's really hard to deal. And, I mentioned briefly, but you're no stranger to political strife. Part of your history, as we just mentioned, is that you had to flee nations. Do you have any advice for those of us who feel challenged in this moment for how to love when the world is in such turmoil and friction?
That's really true, So first, mentally, you keep the sincere love, bring the peace into you, first for your own benefit. Then you just wish everyone to have peace and happiness. Yeah? And then you do what you can. If we look at those individuals who create problems and creating obstacles, bring suffering to others, those individuals also very limited. They have limitation. Even though they themselves want peace and happiness, but they don't know how to create peace and happiness due to the mental delusions, mental obscurations, and due to lack of the wisdom, they don't know how to bring a peace for themselves and to others. You see, so look at the limitation of those individuals, their mind. And then we just, in our mind, just look at this, and to such kind of individuals, if we develop hatred and just violence, and that doesn't solve the problem. It brings more suffering to ourselves and to others. So look at that. What are the causes of the problem? What are the causes of the suffering? Not just look at the suffering itself, obstacle itself, but what is the cause of those?
Looking at the source.
Yeah, the source and the cause of those. We have to look and find the solution, how to take care of the cause of all the problems. Also, at the same time, we want peace and happiness, But what are the causes of the peace and happiness? Through the violence, we use, I do this violence to bring peace, but that doesn't bring any kind of special justice, It's not the real kind of cause for peace and happiness, you see. So look at the cause for the peace and happiness is you keep your mind in the right place. And then we need their mental courage. This is very important, courage. The courage based on wisdom, not as a selfish reason. And the base of the wisdom, and then you build that, and then you practice that courage. So first, I should not lose my own courage, the cause for peace and happiness. I should maintain this, even though it's not easy.
No, it's not.
There's a lot of limitation,
Let's be honest. Just because you've retired doesn't mean you've stopped wondering, exploring, and learning. That's why Plato is here. It's here to help you turn retirement into your most curious and enriching chapter yet. Plato Madison connects intellectually curious adults through special interest classes, fascinating lectures, social activities, and cultural outings around Wisconsin. Right now, you can join Plato and participate in these upcoming classes. Try chair yoga, explore the musical evolution of the Beatles, or dive into the nuances of global affairs. All of these classes and more are included in a Plato membership. Plus, it's more affordable than ever to invest in your love of learning. Half your memberships are only $30. Become a member today at platomadison.org. That's Plato Madison.org. Don't wait. New classes start next week on February 17th.
This is an ad from BetterHelp Online Therapy. We always hear about the red flags to avoid in relationships, but it's just as important to focus on the green flags. If you're not quite sure what they look like, therapy can help you identify those qualities so you can embody the green flag energy and find it in others. BetterHelp offers therapy 100% online, and sign-up only takes a few minutes. Visit BetterHelp.com today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com.
We were just talking about community and how we're feeling the suffering of others, and it's causing a lot of pain. And how you laid it out was where you need to start to bring that peace and compassion is starting with yourself. And we want to talk about that because we're in this week of love and it's being pushed off by Valentine's Day, which focuses on romantic love. And Valentine's Day sales last year surpassed $25 billion. So all of this focus on loving a romantic partner, but we often forget to put that same sort of energy into ourselves and accepting ourselves. And that's why we wanted to talk to you about that self-love and how important that is, not just for ourselves, but for others. Can you talk about that and the practice of loving yourself?
I desire for peace and happiness. So first look at that. That is not just something culture or culturally some belief, or it is not something because of the religion you influence. This is something from the innate of the mind.
Innate, yeah. Something, yeah.
From the inborn,
Yeah. It's universal. It wasn't taught. We're born with it.
Exactly. You are born with it. It's just naturally you want peace and happiness. Nobody need to teach about that. So now the question is, how to achieve that, you see. So as I mentioned, through the limitation of our mind, due to delusions, sometimes with a shortcut, So this is maybe way to get, my happiness. If I destroy my enemies, then I'll be so happy, But when you destroy your enemy, it becomes worse. It comes more suffering into you. So, so for long run, you have to have such a great view, such a ultimate view. How is the real solution? So then look at your mind, as in your mind, because of this, sometimes in your mind it irritates. There comes the anger, hatred, shortcoming, So I don't want that, I want this way.
Rigidity.
Yeah, that time it disturbs your mind, Instead of it become the cause of peace, it become a cause of suffering.
So it's challenging to know how to put that energy and light on yourself because sometimes we have mental delusions about what we think is going to make us happy and how to do that self-care. What kinds of steps would you say are useful practices for loving ourselves in a way that honors that true spirit of trying to secure happiness and peace?
So what we need, first as I mentioned, we need a special wisdom. Wisdom to see all the causes, the demarcation of all the causes, demarcation of the cause of suffering, demarcation of the cause for peace and happiness. And then once you investigate that, you analyze that, we should get a conviction about that, understand about that. Yes, that makes sense. Once we have got this tool, then we need mindfulness, awareness in order to practice this, in order to sustain this mind. Because this is a shortcoming, the anger, hatred just comes very easily, simultaneously manifests. Sometimes without your awareness, it just manifested.
Yeah, it just comes back in to bite you.
Exactly, So, regarding to this, for the solution, we need the mindfulness, awareness. As I mentioned, we need a courage, a courage to do this just on the basis of the wisdom. Not just, I want this as a shortcut solution, no. So that shortcut solution doesn't work so well,
Yeah. Well, of course, you've spent most of your life collecting and trying to understand the wisdom. When you're talking about number one, we need courage to look at ourselves honestly and look at the situation honestly. And then you need the wisdom of what keeps us from peace and happiness. Do you have the answer? The wisdom so we can start getting to the mindfulness?
When that pops up like anger, outrage, when this comes, then it disturbs your mind. First of all, you see, it beats your heart, and then so at that moment, we have no peace in our own mind. I want peace. I'm working for peace, but I'm in the wrong place, You see, so that time I need courage, mindfulness. Sometimes I feel like my ego is losing. So I reduce my ego at that time. Just ego is just nothing. So release this and open your heart so that not only that moment, but we need this regular basis every day when you get up in the morning. Just I wish everybody have all the peace and happiness. I wish I can contribute more to all. And then say, just in the morning, I wish everybody free from all the suffering. You just reflect in your mind that, get used to it. And then when you go to bed, at that time also, since everybody desire for peace and happiness, I wish everybody have all the peace and happiness. And I just maintain that in my own mind. I keep this in my mind. Even though there are some people hate me, some people don't like me, I said that's okay. It's their feeling, It's their feeling. They are suffering, not me, So look at that,
You mentioned the ego a moment ago and how the ego comes up as one of these challenges for us, where you said sort of self-cherishing and cherishing what we need and what we want in this moment. One of the things we really want to talk to you about today is we're here self-love. You need self-love. And a lot of folks struggle with loving themselves. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Some people are taught that it's selfish to focus on loving the self. How do you spend time loving yourself and putting love on yourself without becoming too egoic, to becoming too maybe self-centered?
Yeah, that's very, very important. Yes, self-love. I need to take care of myself. But also we should understand this whole, community, your neighbors or your own the town, village, or in the city, we all are dependent on each other. So we all are dependent on each other. Just look at a bowl of, in the morning, hot cereal, or like oatmeal or whatever you make, Just look at now how that came about. First, the farmer, they produce, all those things. And the agent, they brought together. And then in the store, you went there to buy all these things. And you came in your kitchen, you cook. So how many people are involved in there? And just all people, as we talked about, everybody wants the peace and happiness. No? So everything is interdependent, interconnected. Look at this. Because of all those different people's contribution, I got this bowl of hot meal. I'm so grateful for everybody, who made this contribution. So look at from that point of view. So from there, everybody desire for peace and happiness. And at the same time, everybody has a limitation. They don't want to be upset. They don't want to be angry. But because of their limitation, without choice, they get upset. They are angry. And they themselves are suffering, So look at this, develop compassion, and then develop loving kindness to all. So this is the way how to develop, it's universal. It's not a religious belief. It is something that everybody can create. Everybody can practice this step by step. But we need this kind of education, wisdom. Then we, as mentioned, we need a mindfulness and a conviction to follow.
Yes. Yeah. We definitely have a time right now where it's so divisive, and loving our neighbors and our family members who have different viewpoints can be really hard, but loving them anyway, even if we don't necessarily feel love back, is there space for that?
That exactly, yes. These are things that doesn't make difference of the different cultures or religious belief, or even there's who has no religion, who doesn't believe in a religion, still, we all want the same thing, So we need some universal solution.
So as much as we all want love and peace, every single person does, we're thinking about giving love to others as well as ourselves. We're all in this together, interdependence, it all matters. And you've been talking about mindfulness, and presence, I'd say, is a big part of loving, giving someone your presence and giving yourself presence. And one tool to get to that is meditation, right?
Yes. Yeah.
For folks who might be new or brand new to meditation, do you have words of recommendation for where to start?
So meditation is not something close your eyes, blank your mind, As mentioned, the mindfulness. You just be mindful about this and aware. There's also comes awareness. So mindfulness and awareness, they come together. You aware your mind, what is going on in your mind. You aware that. And then mindfulness is a tool to bring that continuity in your mind. Don't be so rigid. No, just relax, you see, and don't be so rigid. If you feel rigid, then you become very narrow mind, Yeah, just open your heart, relax, everything's fine. So look at your mind, be positive, look at yourself. Yes, I want peace and happiness, and this is the cause for peace and happiness that I should maintain for my own benefit. Once I have this, my own peace and happiness, love and compassion, then I can, first I get the help, and then I can help others. See? So like that, you just practice that. So that kind of practice is called meditation. Just every day, every moment, look at this.
My goodness. This is such a lovely conversation, steeped in love and awareness. And we need wisdom and courage, and we need to practice mindfulness. And don't be rigid about it, but it's important.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Well, Khenchen Rinpoche, we really appreciate your time and appreciate you sharing your light and learnings with us.
Yeah, I'm really happy that we got chance to discuss about this. And we should understand that our mind is very powerful. Mind is very vast. They're called body, speech, and mind. We can see the body, the color, all this size, the different the things we can see. And then the voice, the sound, we just can hear. Only we can hear. We cannot see it. We cannot touch it. The mind, we cannot see it. We cannot touch it. But the mind is the most powerful. We should understand that. Mind is as vast as the space and profound as the space. Because the mind, all these modern technologies, science, everything comes out, all the education, politics, they discuss so much because the mind brings all these issues. So we should understand about the power of the mind. So once we understood the power of the mind, then we definitely can practice loving kindness, compassion. So I'm so happy that we discussed about this.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, take care.
That's Khenchen Kunchog Gyaltsen Rinpoche, Buddhist teacher and founder of Drikung Kagyu Dharma Circle of Madison. That circle meets Mondays via Zoom and Saturdays at the Wilmar Center. That's all for today, here on CityCast Madison. I'm Bianca Martin, your host. If you enjoyed this show, why not share this episode with your most mindful friend? We'll be back tomorrow morning with more stories on love from around the city. Until next time, love well.